What up players, Wallbots Stay Up This Mode. Welcome to How to Paint a Dr. Festus Part 3. We are still going. It looks like we are heading into the home stretch pretty soon. We highlighted up his skin. As you can see, it looks really gross and more fleshy than green, which I think is really cool. We also added some blood and guts, highlighted up Archie, and did we do anything else? Yeah, we painted some leeches, and we were doing the leeches, the giant leeches that are coming from his body. So stay tuned. The colors that we use are Averland Sunset, Cadian Flesh Tone, Corn Red, Rackheart Flesh, Athonian Camo Shade, Ceramite White, Screamer Pink, Celestra Gray, Abaddon Black, Nurgling Green, and Deathworld Forest. Thanks for watching. Oh, and also Balthazar Gold for his little pendant there. Shiny, shiny. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Alright, ladies and gentle players, welcome back. Part 3. And, okay, so now we're going to start veering away from the Games Workshop website model because I was testing out my Festus. Quick story for you. This is just such a crazy model that I wanted to paint like one side of him up just to make sure that it was kind of what I wanted, and I really liked it. So as you can see, it's more of a fleshy skin color than the green. So, but I love it. So let's try and recreate it. So the colors you're going to need for this on the whole side of your body, but I'm just going to show you. I'm going to paint up the right side because I already did the left side as a test model. You're going to need Cadian Flesh Tone. Going to need Nurgling Green, and you're going to need, where is it, just a little bit of Deathworld Forest. So the first thing you're going to do is, because we shaded our green skin and made it this like dark dirty green, is we're going to try and build back up using Deathworld Forest. And you can see I've got my wet palette here off to the side. What you're going to be doing is just going over the model, looking for the places in the skin that aren't covered by shadow. You want to kind of leave that nice dark muddy shade in the recesses if you can. Ooh, so gross. Yeah, so the reason I got motivated to actually paint this guy was because, you know, the new Chaos Warriors of Chaos book came back out. Cadian Flesh Tone now, we're gonna mix it up. The new Warriors of Chaos book came out. I've been looking at him, he's just been sitting so forlornly here on the side. And I just said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's finish this poor guy up. So I'm gonna mix in my Deathworld Forest into it. We're gonna get this kind of sickly, pale, like kind of sick, disgusting skin look. Then we're gonna start painting. We're laying the foundation for what's gonna eventually be healthy skin. Now, one of the coolest things about Nurgle, I think, is that Nurgle is he's like a conundrum. He's a mixture of death and rebirth and life, and entropy and decay is kind of, most people kind of equate Nurgle, the chaos god, with like rot and plague and stuff. But Nurgle is also about life, and usually for his disgusting organisms and plagues and stuff, but really just like spreading all these interesting new life forms and diseases and stuff into other creatures. So in order to do that, he can't just continually be rotting stuff. The stuff can't continually be rotting away, or they'll rot to nothing. Which is why, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I haven't been focused. Focus, Igor. Sorry, master. Nurgle is, you know, all about continuing life and continually regrowing and building upon what is already there, which is why Dr. Festus is just like a big hot mess, because he his body has just been blessed with all these plagues and decomposing just, you know, agents in his body. But in order for him to continue doing Nurgle's great works, Nurgle has to keep building him back up. So he has like all these disgusting growths, and just his entire body is completely ridden with plague, and yet everything keeps bubbling and building back up. It's so disgusting when you think about it, but perfect for Grandfather Nurgle. Okay, one of the things you're also going to be doing on the left body is getting some Averland Sunset ready for this giant mass of blisters and pimples and stuff. I painted them with straight Averland Sunset. So let's do that on the right side. I've got Averland Sunset here, and we're going to be painting on any of the blisters and boils. Now you want to look carefully, because our guy here has got some blisters and boils, but he's also got leeches on his body, and we want to make the differentiation between them. So the yellow is, I guess, to represent all the disgusting pus that is building up within his body, ready to burst. Let's also do this face. So warts and boils and all of that. So you don't want it to be too thick. You want to kind of blend it to the areas around it, but at the same time, yeah, you want to just give it a nice little dot on wherever you can. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some black. In my case, Chaos Black, but you might have Abaddon Black. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint the leeches. So let's look for them. On the right side, I found the leech here on his arm. Here, going into this poor guy's head. I'll just paint this back over again. Here on his arm, on his forearm. Just looking for any of the leeches that we can paint up, and yeah, they look like little, you're basically like worms. If you don't know what a leech looks like. Robin Leech? No. Not Robin Leech. Oh. Okay. Sorry, just checking to make sure that we're in focus here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some, while we're waiting, while that's to dry, let's take some Balthazar Gold, and we're going to paint up the little icon he's got on the center of his chest on his necklace. Oh, I missed a leech right there. Next to his necklace, there's one that's kind of hidden. Double checking to make sure those are all the leeches. And what you can also do if you want is, let's see, we could take that. Actually, this is fine. We can leave it where it is right now. So going back to the skin, we're going to add a little bit of Nurgling flesh, or Nurgling green, to our fleshy little concoction there. Just a touch. And if you're using a wet palette like I do, then even better. This is going to help you kind of plot out where the eventual skin colored paint is going to go. Alright, so now we're going to really add a lot of Acadian flesh tone to the mix. And this is to get a really fleshy skin that has just a slight greenish tint to it. So when you paint this over the rest of the green that you already have, it's gonna make a very cool effect of like disease kind of taking root in the bottom of this flesh, but then having a kind of unhealthy but still believable skin kind of tone to the top of the flesh. Like pale Caucasian skin tone that has a little hint of green underneath, but yeah, when you paint this over the rest of the green, it makes a really cool contrast that goes from the dark green of the base color that we did in the last couple videos to this kind of top level of pale flesh. The interesting thing about the Dr. Festus fluff, which I like, was that he didn't start as like a crazy Nurgle chaos worshipping guy, but he started as a very respected doctor in the Empire who was trying to cure all these sicknesses and plagues, and he just went crazy. I think I mentioned this in the last video tutorial, part 2 I think, or part 1 that I did of him, but it's these just to finish my thought from the last video, it's these stories of good guys gone bad. That are really cool. Yeah, so doesn't this look a lot more gross and disgusting than just having him be a green monster? I think it is, because he looks almost human. We're gonna keep messing with him before we're done. So we're gonna let that dry and we're gonna come back to it, but if you have your Screamer pink ready, this is the part where we're gonna paint in the leeches. So just find those little black slug-like things and paint these leeches. Alright. You're also going to take your Screamer pink, and actually before we take our Screamer pink, let's take some Chaos black. We're going to take our Chaos black and we're going to paint the blood and the guts of our little test subject here that's coming out of right below his rib cage. So look for the guy's rib cage right under the beaker, and watch out because there's some leg bone here that you don't want to get, but you want to get all the blood and guts areas that we painted. And that also is going to go for the what looks like intestines and guts up here in his backpack. We'll call it his lunchbox. There are all these like fleshy bits. So we're just gonna take our black and we're going to paint it all the way down. And let that dry before we start painting those guts in. And while that's drying, if you could take some Celestra Gray. We're gonna start painting Archie back up. So I did a test of his left side here, and I'm just gonna be painting up his right side back up. I'm gonna try and keep that nice bluish gray in the recesses there, but other than that, just painting up the highlight. All right, and that's gonna finish it for Archie there. And I'm looking at the Games Workshop website now, and it looks like Archie here is, I got a white eyeball. I thought it was yellow, but it's actually white. So I'm gonna take some ceramite white and just repaint over his eyeball. It's funny because he's got like a nice, like a baby blue eyeball, and it's really big, like an anime cartoon. So we're gonna build up to that, but in order to do that, we just have to clear that back up. So white there. Next thing we're gonna do is, what did we stop doing? Oh yeah, let's finish the flesh. So with our flesh, we're gonna take Rakelin Flesh Shade and paint it on the skin. So this is like a dark, I don't want to say dark, but it's darker than sepia, but it's not as dark as Agrak's Earthshade, as brown black as that. So it's going to give like almost a reddish coppery tint to the skin, and over the green and over the flesh color that we did, it's going to look really, really nice. The good thing about doing shades, going back and forth between the shades and the highlights, is that you can fix anything that you didn't get from before. And always keep tying your work together effectively. You can also take that flesh shade and start painting it up the like snail growths, or the giant leech growths on his body here. On both sides. And while that's drying, we're gonna take a Thonian camo shade and we're gonna paint that on the Rakarth fleshy bits of our leeches on both sides. So specifically this part that joins into his right hip and this part that is popping out of his left hip. For the, it's a weird color. Is this weird like shiny color that this blue purple part is becomes, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take Rakarth flesh, we're gonna water it down, and we're gonna paint it over those areas. So this is where having a wet palette is really gonna help you out. So I watered down my Rakarth flesh as much as I could. Now we're going to just paint it over both sides, let it seep into the cracks. And when it dries, it's going to look a little bit more like the Games Workshop model. I gotta give them credit, like the Heavy Metal team, for making the leeches that are coming out of this guy's body look like absolutely disgusting. So gross! So gross, honey buns! Okay, now we're gonna take some corn red. We're gonna paint all the gory bits in the back. We're gonna be coming back later to hit this with some, to me, a clear red, but for now, this'll do. Come out of this guy's stomach here, hit that part up. Right there. And looks like all this stuff too, yeah. So this poor guy here is also going to get the corn red treatment. We're gonna stop it here and let all of this dry, but yeah, we are getting closer and closer every day to finishing this model. So thanks for watching, and hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Festus is looking great, Archie's coming together, it's all looking really great. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Latest, players!